Welcome back to The Economy. How do you measure that? The podcast where we explore macroeconomic transactions, one transaction at a time. Now, last week, we had Jorrit on and we talked about household income. And that's a big number, big statistics that's produced. As promised, this week we're going to talk about how we break that statistic down into detail that gives us additional insight into the well-being of households. So welcome back, Jorrit, and let's pick up our conversation from where it left off last week, and let's talk about that. Okay, so when you talk about looking at the various household groups, you're talking about this one number and then distributing it down into these different groups, and then looking at these different groups and how their income's behaving. I think you often refer to this as the distribution of household income and things like that. I know you've done a lot of work in this area. Can you outline that a little bit? Like how do you go from that one large number to these distributions? What do they mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we do is indeed we start from the national accounts number for the total household sector, and we try to break it down into more granular household groups. So the common breakdowns are by income quintile or income decile. So quintiles focusing on 20% groups. So breaking down the household sector into 5 equal groups. Deciles focusing on 10% groups. And what we do is to use available microdata sources from surveys, from administrative data sources, fiscal records, for example, and then to align that to the national accounts totals, to bridge any gaps, and then to arrive at results on the household income per household group.
Okay, so let's just kind of like work with some kind of an example. Okay, so suppose that the total household income in an economy is $1 trillion, and you are able to distribute that across these different groups. Like what additional insights do we get from that number? Like why, from a policy perspective or from an analytical perspective, like what do we gain from that distribution?
Mm-hmm. So it's already very important to know indeed that the whole household sector has gained 1 trillion in income. But if you break it down into various household groups, you can actually see who is taking the large share of this. So it might be the case that if we break it down into income deciles, that we see that the top 10% of households is actually receiving the largest share, sometimes even up to 30-40%. And we can also see how much is earned by the bottom 10%. And if you can track these changes over time, it provides a lot of insights in how different types of household groups are actually benefiting, for example, from economic growth. Is it benefiting all or just a happy few? And also to get more insights in vulnerabilities of specific household groups, for example, in relation to specific economic events, and also for policymakers to see the potential impact of policy changes on various household groups. So in that sense, the distributional results, they provide a lot of useful information in addition to what is already included in the core national accounts.
Right, so one number, good. Many numbers, much better from a policy analytic perspective.
Exactly. We always want to provide more insights indeed. And with the distributional accounts, we think we can provide users with a lot of useful information, the breakdowns by income decile, by wealth decile, but also type of household group, the main source of earning, et cetera, et cetera. So providing a lot of granularity that may benefit different types of policy users. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, this is great. I mean, you really helped us unpack a very important statistic that is measured in many countries, and explained how you as statisticians are continuing to add value to those statistics. So, well, that's it. So the next time you hear about total household income growing, remember that one number tells only part of the story. To really understand how households are doing, statisticians also look at how income is distributed across the population, whether by quartiles, deciles, or other groups. So thanks to Jorrit for helping us understand how statisticians measure the distribution of household income. And remember, behind every statistic about inequality or living standards, there's a statistician like Jorrit figuring out how to measure it.